Hello, little learners. Welcome back to Camp Read A Lot, the place where we read lots of books, sing songs, and keep the learning going all summer long. My name is Miss Laura. Can you tell me your name? I'm so excited that you made it back today. Let's start our day off with a song with Miss Maria, the mail person, to help us. Are you ready, Miss Maria? Okay, here we go. Good morning, it's a sunshine kind of day. Come join Miss Laura for some learning and some play. Will we sing a song? Of course we will. Make our brains strong, like super strong. So come along. Yes, come on, friends, for some learning and some play. So hello, Jello, what's up, Buttercup? We have so much to do. We're glad that you are up. So if you're still in your pajamas, wipe the sleep from your eyes. We have tons to do today. So let's walk through our visual schedule. So this morning, we're going to start our day off with checking what Miss Maria delivered for us. I think she has another special book that we're going to read together. Then we're going to check in on Miss Sonia the snail. She had a problem. I think that she got in trouble. Have you ever gotten in trouble before? Let's see how Sonia the snail handles it. And then we're going to move on and focus on our beginning sounds and finish off with a project and a big smooch. Mwah! Does that sound like a good plan? Okay, let's get started. I think I hear, is that Miss Maria? It is. She left a delivery here behind the door. Let's see what our letter today says. So, of course, when I start reading, I always start on my left and swing over to my right, and I have a song that helps us remember. This is the left. This is the right. When we read, we start at the left, slide to the right. Okay, let's read. It says, Dear Miss Laura, it was awful. Oh no, I was sent to my room for being rude and rough. Oh no, I didn't mean to tell my mother I would eat her all up. Well, that's Max, one of the characters in our story. Oh no, do you remember in the book when he said that in a rude way? He said he didn't mean it, but I don't know. I think Sonia the snail had a similar problem. Let's check in with her and see how she handled it. Let's watch together. Exploring Feelings with Sonia the snail. Sonia Snail did not get enough sleep. She was grumpy all day long. When she was playing outside and her aunt told her to come inside, Sonia screamed, no! It was not like Sonia to disobey her aunt. Sonia, said her aunt, that was very rude. You need to think about what you've done. Sonia was sad. She didn't mean to be rude. It just kind of came out. She thought about her aunt's feelings. Had she made her aunt upset? What could she do to make it better? Sonia's aunt came back and said, Sonia, I felt really sad when you yelled at me. Sonia sniffled. She said, I was grumpy. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. How can I make it better? It's okay, Sonia. Sometimes we do things that we aren't proud of. You did the right thing by apologizing to someone you hurt and asking if there's anything you can do to make it better. You must be tired, Sonia's aunt continued. Are you ready to come with me to take a nap? Sonia nodded, but just as she was going to go inside, she fell over fast asleep. I'm so glad that Miss Sonia showed us exactly what to do when you make a mistake, huh? Sonia the snail apologized and asked how she can make it better. Now, do you remember the story that we watched yesterday where the wild things are? Max did a naughty thing, just like our letter says. He told his mom, "I'm going to eat you all up." Just like Sonia the snail, he made a mistake. So we're going to read that story again here together, but I wanted to review some vocabulary before we get started. The first word we're going to review is mischief. Mischief means being naughty, not doing what you're supposed to do. This little guy, he has paint all over his parents' car. Whew, boo to that, not a nice thing. The next word is rumpus. That means causing chaos, being all over the place. We're going to read that in our book too. And the last word is sailed. You may not have seen a sailboat before, but this is what one looks like. When you sail somewhere, that means you go on a boat to another place. So let's read our book together. So this is the book called Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. And look, this special gold band means they won an award, the Caldecott Medal. Wow, must be a fancy book. Let's start reading together. Where the Wild Things Are. Now, what was interesting about this book is Maurice Sendak illustrated the book. That means he drew the pictures and he wrote the words. That night, Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. So look, he's chasing the dog with the fork. Not nice, Max. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. There he is with this forest. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. Look at that. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and the day. There he is, and his boat even says, "Max, where are you going, Max? Come back." And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Now, boys and girls, is there such a thing as a wild thing as written in this book? No, it came from Maurice Sendak's imagination. It's a work of fiction, so don't be scared. Let's keep going. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, roar, and gnashed their terrible teeth, gnash, 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 and rolled their terrible eyes. And they showed their terrible claws. Can you show me your terrible claws? Whew, I'm scared. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." So they danced. Whew. And they climbed tall trees. Look at them climbing those tall trees. And Max rode them into the night as the king of the wild things. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where somebody loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away and across the world, he smelled good things to eat, so he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go, please. We'll eat you up. We love you so. And Max said, no. The wild things roared their terrible roars. Can you roar with me? Roar! And gnashed their terrible teeth. Gnash, gnash, gnash. And rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. Where do you think he's going? Where do you think they love him best? And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Look, there's his supper. It's another word for dinner. And guess what? It was still hot. The end. So boys and girls, I hope that you enjoyed reading Where the Wild Things Are. Now remember, you can read more books like this on the Sora app by checking out your local library. Now I love reading books to you, but I would really love it if you learned how to read books to me. So we're going to practice some skills that are going to help you out with reading. One of them is beginning sounds. Now parents, it's so important as your child learns to read that they be able to take the sounds apart in words. It's actually more important than learning and knowing the letters of the alphabet, learning the sounds, because that's what they use to read. So we're going to focus on beginning sound. It's the first sound you hear in a word. And we're going to look for words that start with the W sound. W, 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 for wild thing. Okay, let's go through our things. Let's see. The first one, ooh, what's this one? Wand. Does wand start with W? Let's listen to the beginning sound. W-ond. It does. It makes a W sound. Now, Wild Things didn't have a wand, but our book from Monday and Tuesday, Abba Yo-Yo did. So I'm going to put it right here next to the W. Let's look for some more words. W. How about this one? Cards. K-ards. Do you hear the W sound at the beginning? No. Boo to that. That's not W. That's his K. That's a C word, huh? No, not that one. How about this one? Hat. Hat. Does that say W at the beginning? No. Hat starts with H. H says okay, we're going to put that down here. Sorry, you don't get to go with the wild things. How about this word? Picture. It's water. We're going to water in the glass, but water. Let's see. Water. Yes, that says W. For the W, let's put it up here with the wand and the wild things. Let's try another one. How about this one? Chair. Chair. No, that doesn't say W at the beginning. Boo to that. I'm going to put you down here. We have one more. Let's see if you recognize this picture. You might see people in these as you walk around outside. It's a wheelchair. People use these if they're not able to walk on their own. Wheelchair. Wheelchair. Does that say W at the beginning? W. Yes, it makes the W sound. So let's review our words that start with W. W. Wheelchair, wild thing, water, and wand. Can you think of any more words? Okay, well, I love to do activities that you can practice at home, like the beginning sounds. So right now we're going to go over to the project place and I'm going to show you a snack where you can integrate beginning sounds. Okay, to the project place. Let's see. For this activity, you are actually going to need a few ingredients. You are going to need, for our first snack, let's do our monster. See, he's going to look like this. What do you think? Would you eat our wild thing monster? You're actually going to need a rice cake. Sounds pretty yummy. 2 marshmallows like this. And decorations of your choice. So I pulled out some veggie sticks that I had in my pantry, some pistachios because they look like teeth to me. And let's see, and some frosting, of course. We'll do you in just a minute because I also want to make a sailboat. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your frosting. So you can see I bought plain white frosting, and that's good if you want to keep frosting white. But I thought, ooh, what better way to make it a wild thing than to turn it green? And do you know how to turn frosting a different color? That's right, you use food coloring. So I'm going to put a little bit in here and try not to lick it off of the knife here, because I love frosting. Late at night, sometimes I go into my fridge and I eat some frosting, and you shouldn't, it's so bad for your teeth. Just the occasional snack. And then I'm going to put 2 drops of food coloring in. Ooh, I think that was a little more. Make it extra green. Now remember, boys and girls, when you're working with food coloring, make sure you're at a place where you can get things a little messy, because if you spill the food coloring, it doesn't come out easily. Then, of course, I'm going to mix it. Ooh, get off, veggie stick. Mix, 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 mix. Shall we mix it? Let's see, 10 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice green color for my monster, for my wild thing. Now, how I thought we would make this a beginning sound activity is I want you, parents, to think about, as you make this, ask your child to pass you the ingredient that starts with the letter F, be frosting, or pass me the ingredient that starts with the P, like the pistachios. Really, you can turn any activity into a learning activity and make it fun as well. I'm going to need a little more frosting. Okay, I'm just smearing my rice cake with the frosting. This is going to be like the hair of my wild thing. I'm using a little plastic knife, but you can use whatever knife you have at home. And what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of texture. You'll notice the side of the knife has like little bumps, and you can go and kind of smear it and add some texture, make it look like hair. All right, what do we need next? We need some matted hair on the side. Let's try that. I'm going to use my veggie sticks, and see, this one's kind of long. I'm going to cut it in half. Now you can use whatever you have at home. Chocolate chips would be really delicious too if you have those at home. And if you don't have frosting, you can use peanut butter or Nutella or some other kind of thing that you have at the house, anything you'd like. All right, I'm putting it all the way around. Kind of looks like a sunshine, huh? We need to make it a mean sunshine for Wild Thing. Hey, Pistachio, not your turn. Stay down. The frosting makes things sticky. All right. Next, if you notice, I did some teeth with some pistachios over here. So I'm going to add some teeth here. And they're all green and dry because I imagine where the Wild Things are, they don't have dentists. And they probably don't brush their teeth. Ooh, imagine how their breath smells. Ooh, yuck. What is missing? What do we see with? Oh, our eyes. So we can use our marshmallows here. Now these marshmallows were a little large, but that's what I had. So I'm going to take a sharp knife, and of course you're going to ask your parent for help with this. You can also use a plastic knife. And we're going to cut that down the side. And there's one eye. And we're going to do another one to make another eye. And there is our first snack where the Wild Things are. So I hope you try that at home. And of course, I have another snack for you in case you don't have these ingredients. I have a snack that's even simpler to make. It's a sailboat using an apple and some cheese. You can make both or one. So for this snack, you'll need an apple, like this one, and then you'll need some cheese, like this, and some toothpicks. Now, in order to make this snack, we're going to use this plate over here so I can show you how to cut an apple. Now, for this one, you are going to need some parent help to cut the apple because you're going to want to cut it in half. Now, half is a word that we've reviewed before. It means in 2 parts, right? So I'm going to hold my apple like this, and of course your parent's going to do this part. It can be tricky. And by the way, boys and girls, if you cut your apple the other way, you get a special surprise, a special shape. Give it a try at home. All right, then once you take that, you're actually going to want to core the apple. So again, your parent is going to do this part. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like because we need a place where Max is going to sit, right? So it's going to go down the middle, go down, and up this way. It creates like a little well like this. Oh, my apple's turning green. I have food coloring on my hands. Always getting messy. All right, so it's going to look like this. Does it look like a little sailboat? I wonder if apples float. The next thing you're going to want to do is kind of tricky, so it might take me just a minute or two. You're going to want to take toothpicks and you're going to put them in your apple. So there goes one, and there goes two, depending on how many sails that you want. For me, I want 2 sails. Now this is the tricky part. Now we're here in the studio here with my friends at PBS, so my cheese got a little bit melty. But you're going to take some cheese that's hopefully really cold because you don't want it to be too melty, and you're going to kind of thread it on the toothpick here. And it might fall apart or it might stay up. Hold your breath. Ooh, it stayed up. There's my first sail. All right, let's try the other one. Whew, I'm holding my breath. This took me a while when I was at home practicing. I thought, oh no, my sails are going to fall apart. And then the boys and girls are going to get discouraged because they're going to think, I can't make this snack. But you can. You can even use just a thicker piece of cheese. I'm so careful. Let's see. Ta-da! We made a little sailboat. Do you remember how that ties into this story? That's right, Max sailed to where the wild things are. So, of course, now we got to taste test everything. Where should I start off with? My wild thing or my sailboat? Do you think my wild thing is going to be delicious? I'm nervous. All right, let's try a little bit. Makes a nice, it's salty and sweet. Just like our bad seed story. You don't have to be sweet all the time. You can be salty sometimes and apologize and make things better. Okay, let's try our sailboat. It's gonna sail right into my mouth. My favorite place. I'm actually gonna cut a piece. Of course, have healthy snacks like apples and cheese. All of those things are so healthy for you. Here we go. Really delicious apples and cheese together. So boys and girls, if you come back tomorrow, we're actually going to try to make spaghetti in a hot dog bun. We're going to read a book about more unusual foods. So right now, it looks like it's time for us to sing our goodbye song. And then I'll tell you what to bring to make the spaghetti and hot dogs. Are you ready? A is for amazing, that's what you are. B is for brave, that'll carry you far. C is for caring and community. D is for determined, be the very best me. E is for empathy, caring for all. F is for friends, that'll catch you when you fall. G is for grateful for everything around. H is for hopeful, there's more good to be found. I is for imagine all the fun things you can do. J is for joyful, how I feel when I'm with you. K is for kind to people and animals too. And L is for love, put it in all that you do. M is for mindful, be present every day. N is for nice words and everything you say. O is for original, always be you. P is for persevere until you make it through. Q is for quiet those bad thoughts. R is for remember all the greatness that you've got. S is for strong body and mind. T is for talent, why not make yours being kind? U is for unique, special and loved. V is for victorious, always rise above. W is for worthy and wonderful too. And X, don't put an X in your mistakes, there won't make you you. Y is for yes. We're getting to the end of this rhyme. And Z is for I'll see you next time. All right, my friends, let me tell you what we're going to do tomorrow. So all this week we've already read Where the Wild Things Are about being brave, and we also read Abba Yo-Yo, where the father and son had to be brave to come up to a monster. Tomorrow we're actually going to read a book about being a different kind of brave, being who you are. And that's my hope for you, boys and girls, that you're exactly who you are. Until next time, Miss Laura sends you a big squeeze, a big smooch, reminds you to read, play, to enjoy your day. Goodbye, my friends.